All right, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I undid these little rubber like covers on both sides, and essentially you just grab this wire, it'll be shoved into that hole like a shoelace, and you just kind of pull it out with needle nose pliers, and then it'll come apart like that. And the side's the same way, except this one's the opposite. It opens up that way. So that's the first thing I did. All right, the next thing I did is I'm going to remove these cotter pins on both sides with a pair of needle nose pliers. You can see I started on this one. So that's the next thing. All right, the next thing I did was I used this big wedge and a crescent wrench after heating the outside of this to remove this plug in the end. And we're gonna count, well, there you go. It's pretty stiff, but it's undoing, so I'm gonna count how many revolutions it takes to get it out. Okay, it came out after about 10.5 revolutions. Once you get that out, you should be able to pull this to the right and it will come out. There will also be a plug in here. You'll want to take that out too. The next step is to use a 5/16 inch wrench to remove the grease nipple. I then broke loose this end cap, not using heat so that we don't damage the band or the cover. It also required the same 10, 10.5, 11 turns out, and the cap came out with it, but it's not connected to it, it's just stuck to it. I'm gonna try to keep these two sets together because I'm sure that they might be different, we never know. Now that we've removed that end cap, the side will drop out the same way. Note that with the drains or the inlet and outlet on the top, this is facing this direction. Remove the grease nipple on the side. Remove this bolt with a 5/8 inch socket. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna use a crescent wrench, and you're gonna use a chain wrench, pipe wrench, whatever you wanna use. And you're gonna put the crescent wrench on these flats on the shaft right here, and you're gonna crack this guy loose. It's spinning right now, but you'll put them on here and then you'll spin this guy off. And it looks like it was just pretty much threaded all the way down to the bottom, so no need to count anything, no need to worry about it. And inside of this unit, you're gonna find another one of these little caps, and you're gonna find this guy right here. The bulged end goes on this side, so the bulge right there, it goes in this direction in there. The next order of operations is gonna be used snap ring pliers to, of course, remove the snap ring. I didn't notice it at first, but there's also another one of these sockets in this end of it, so they sandwich it on both sides. All right, your next thing is gonna be to struggle as much as you can to remove this scraper seal right here. I used a screwdriver on the side and wiggled around with pliers, and eventually I just held the screwdriver against it and pulled this out, and I was able to kind of pull it out. You're gonna fight it, but make sure you don't mess it up too much so you can read the numbers on the back. This ball is worn on the side, so we're gonna remove it with a press. It's now removed like so. I simply put a punch on it and pressed it out. This bent out lip folded right back in, no problem. Now we're gonna take it to a machine shop. Find your wear areas. We're now gonna weld them. All right, I took this little ball joint, welded it up, took it to a machine shop. It's all good now. And that right there just slides into this. I thought it was a press fit, but it actually just kind of fits in there. And the lip right here is how you lock it in. So we'll bend that out. We'll have to make a tool for it. And then I'll probably put a tack or two on it just to make it extra strong. All right, I'm gonna install the seal in our cylinder here. And so I'll use some piece of plastic like this to hit it flush. And then I'll figure out a good way to hit it actually in so I can put the snap ring in. Okay, the way I'm doing this is kind of at a funky angle here, but I should be able to just kind of work my way around the outside of it. If I can hold it down. Yeah, there you go, now it's starting to go in. Yeah, that's really awkward to do. So I'm gonna put it in ice real quick. Okay, so we get it seated in there. Pretty much just like a screwdriver. You can see the marks, and I just hammered it in. You can be pretty rough with the seal. The seal's a really heavy duty seal, even though the other one was still more heavy duty. So let me hold the camera so you can actually see it. Now the next thing, of course, is to put our snap ring back in. Nice and simple. Make sure that it actually is seated in there. There you go. And that's our cylinder. Pretty good. It should be. Oh yeah, I can feel more tension now. I know the internal seals and valves and stuff are probably shot and they probably still leak. This is not rebuilt in any way, shape, or form. It probably still leaks. The internal thing is what actually seals it. This is just a scraper. I'm just trying to keep the truck on the road, or get it on the road. It hasn't been on the road. Just trying to do what I can to make the truck a little bit better than it is. So we'll see how it turns out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, $20 seal if the truck wasn't driving anyways. But if it does work, it makes so the truck stops dripping. So we'll get to reassembly now. Okay, now starting on the reassembly of our end here. I'm going to be adding a washer just to make it so that, because these are a little worn out from when they were new, just to give it a little bit tighter fit. So a washer is going to go in here. Nice and seated in there. Actually, I'm going to add some, there's already some in there. I'm going to put some anti-seize on all these parts here. Oh my goodness, stop rolling around. Thank you. Okay, just a little bit anti-seize. Just a little dab is all you need. Now I'm going to do some on our first little, whatever you want to call it, piece. Put some on the back, put some on the cup. You're good. Oh my God. This is how today's going to go. Okay. Now, we're going to grab our cleaned up piece that goes there. Gonna install it in here, slide it over. Then we'll grab our other piece that we got here. Put some anti-seize on both sides. And we're going to put it in. Okay, now we've got our, I guess if you want to call it castle nut. Oh, I think we found a hole that it likes. Yeah, that's a pretty good tightness right there. You don't want to make it too tight because honestly, I don't think it really matters, but also if it's too tight, it's going to grind it apart and it's just going to beat up the crap out of it. Beat up the crap out of it. It's going to beat the crap out of it. All right. So now you can see our end there. And we are going to grab a brand new cotter pin and install it just like that. Made a little dirt on the desk. That's all right. And of course, we're going to take the wrong tool for the job. Oop. How about I go get pliers? I'm gonna beat on it with a screwdriver. So, we got this end. I think it's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. It's pretty nice. We'll get to the other side. All right, now we're on the other side here. And if you remember right, the piece that holds it, that goes on there, is currently holding my phone up. So let's swap that with the anti-seize. I need to get a tripod. I threw one away. I should have kept it. I'm going to get a tripod so I can do these a little better. Oh, now I need the anti-seize for this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we're going to thread on our last piece here. Oh, and I shouldn't show that yet. Not that step doesn't happen yet. Yeah, I put it together without, so I don't look stupid when I do it on camera, and then I end up looking stupid anyways. So we're going to thread this guy on, of course, all the way, because if you remember, I measured. And for all three of you still watching that have a C50, badass truck. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm sure it's badass. All right, now we've got that washer in there to take out some of our slop from our really worn out sloppy parts. And of course, we're gonna put anti-seize on this guy. All right, now we've got our fancy dandy. You'll love this. I panned it all up. The ball has been welded in there with Loctite and a little thing from a feeler gauge welded on both sides. It's been machined, and then I asked the guy what I owed him for it, and he said he just kind of never responded to me, so I guess I got it for free for now? Who knows? We'll see. So we will now look up on my phone to see which direction it goes before I mount it wrong. All right, so I remember it now. I looked at the video and stuff, so this going down, and we'll have this one in this position just so it's easy for me to remember it. And so the first thing we're gonna do is cover that ball in anti-seize, and then we'll install it in there. Okay, now we're back to our regularly scheduled work. All right, last little cup thing goes there, using the McDonald's napkins to wipe the anti-seize off my hands. And of course, we're gonna get our castle nut here, clean it up a little bit. Can you see what I'm doing? You can. Put a little on the threads. We're gonna drop it on the desk. You have to drop it on the desk. If you don't drop it on the desk, the install will not go as planned. Your truck will burn down to the ground, and you'll have to buy a new C50. Oh, but I just caught myself. I almost taught the wrong thing. My goodness. I am just not in it today. It's a Friday, and it is like 3:30, so I'm trying to finish this before I go home. This thing, our little boot thing. So let's slap that guy on there. Oh, it fits on our ball very nice. But it goes like that. Okay. Now we can fit it together for the final time. Oop, messed it up again. I am just fiddling with it. Oh my goodness. Ah! Love the whisper. All right, we're going back to filming like this. Okay, so let me get this put together with that nut in, and you'll know what I'm doing. Okay, so I actually ended up putting in a smaller washer because this side wasn't as worn out. I could tell it wasn't as worn out, but I just wasn't thinking about it. So I've got a cotter pin in here now. Just nice and simple, just two little bends like that. And now we're gonna get this little guy wrapped up. Okay, now we've got that guy on there. I actually really like these. I like that. It looks nice. So our next thing is gonna be 1/4-inch grease fittings. And let me aim it at the actual work. Boom, it's rebuilt. I'm kidding. Yeah, so I got a pack of O'Reilly's for like $3. I don't know how much it was. One goes on this end, and one goes on this end, of course. All right, the next thing is to put this one on this side, this little cover. Okay, so here we have the fully finished unit. And if it still leaks, whatever. I didn't really put that much work into it. It took me a longest time though. It's been like 3 months. No, like a month and a half. But at least they'll be greasable now. And a little bit of slop should be gotten rid of because of that machining I had done. So I'm going to throw it in a garbage bag and we'll throw it in the truck and see what happens. And I'll put an update up.